How is everybody doing today? Um, my wife broke her iPhone, or I should say, one of my kids broke the iPhone. So I'm waiting for that to get done here. I'm at Fashion Island in Newport Beach. So this is the indoor section of the mall. Most of it's outdoor. And lo and behold, I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, and it's kind of cold outside now. Um, so I have to come inside. I thought I would do a quick live stream. Let me see if I can move this planter to prop up the phone. No, that's that is stuck there. All right, let's see if we can make this work. See, look, I'm in my shorts. All right, I'm going to bring this chair up. I'm going to do my best to see what you guys are commenting. I don't know if I want you guys just checking me out that way. All right, we'll kind of come to the side here. Okay. Well, how are you guys doing today? Um, I wanted to just briefly share a few thoughts that are going on in the market. There's a lot that's going on. A lot of people are trying to figure out, are we going up or down in gold and silver? There's a lot of comments going on about, it's kind of a mix, right? People are afraid we're going down. Some people think we're going to go crazy. This is another surprise live. We may have a lot of those this year. So, I put in the thumbnail here, silver and gold coins up and down. We don't know where it's going to go for sure. I did have another thumbnail I was trying to create around the bull trap. Okay, so I do want to share a couple of thoughts with you guys on that. I've seen a few videos put out today about it. It's really important to understand when we have prices skyrocket as fast and as high as they did, specifically for silver, but also for gold. You're going to have pullbacks. Okay, they always come. We've been talking about that on the channel for a long time. Now, we don't get overly concerned with those pullbacks because this channel is primarily is for stacking. So people that buy gold and silver and hold on to it. But it's a little bit more of a thing that you would watch if you're a trader. Okay. If you're stacking and you're holding on to it, it creates buying opportunities, but we don't always know when they're going to hit. And it's less important about trying to hurry and sell at the top and buy down at the bottom. That's more of a trading mentality of doing that. So, if you want to be a trader, and you want to try to multiply your gold and silver by buying low and selling high and doing it frequently, it's probably better to be doing that with mining stocks or even with some of the ETFs or with the vaulting services like Blink, Kinesis, and One Gold. And the reason for that is you have much lower premium fees. You don't have to take stuff out of a vault or out of a safe, run it down to a store, sell it, and come back. And what we've found recently too is a lot of dealers just aren't buying. So if they're not buying, then you start to run into that problem as well. Okay, so that's something that's important for you guys to, just kind of think through a little bit. Now, what are we seeing in the market right now? We saw gold get up to almost $5,600 and silver almost to $120. And then we saw them crash last Friday. Okay. We had gold get down to, I think, about $4,700, and we had silver get down to about $71. Okay, and it started going up. I don't know where it is right now. Maybe one of you guys can tell me, but I think we're somewhere close to $89, 88, somewhere around there. And so, what's happening in the market? If you look at the swing today, it was enormous. Okay, even the swing yesterday was pretty big too. We're looking at these prices at 71 and then up to 89. I mean, that's pretty crazy in one day for silver. And it went up and down multiple times, okay? The market's trying to find where the price of silver is. It's trying to find what's going on here. I haven't been able to do the research yet to see if there's a bunch of shorts that have been added. We do know that some of the banks basically got out of shorts on Friday when the crash happened. It looks very suspicious to me that a lot of the banks are trying to cover their butts and their tail ends basically by getting out of some of the shorts. Obviously, they can't get out of all of it. They can't do it at once. And so the couple lessons I would share with you guys today is this. And hi to everybody that's saying hi. So number one, this is what we're going to see in 2026, okay? We're not going to see what we saw in 2024, which was a kind of a gradual run up in gold. With silver kind of being flat. And then in 2025, where we saw gold continually going up, with silver starting to catch up, and then silver explosively going up. I don't think we're going to see that this year. I think what we're going to see this year is a lot of ups and downs all over the place. Now, we're still going to have higher parabolics. I believe we're going to get to about $180 to $200 on silver this year. And gold, I think we're going to get at least 6,000. Okay, it could be as high as 7 or 8,000 this year. It really depends on a few dynamics. The key is not what it goes to. The key is holding ounces. So this is what I recommend doing: is dollar cost average, buy when you can, set a budget, and spread those purchases out. Okay, so it's really easy for you that get paid every 2 weeks, and you've got some extra cash that you can pull out, and you can buy on those every 2 week increments. Okay, when a paycheck comes out, that makes it easy. It's harder for someone that might get a bonus or a commission that comes in every once in a while, or gets paid in lump sums. It's a little harder to really stretch that all out. And right now, I think is a good buying opportunity. I would say anything under $100 is a great buy. If you can get under $90, it's even better. If you can get under 80, that's even better. Could we go to 60? Could we go to 50? The answer is yes, we could. It doesn't seem very probable right at the moment, but I can't rule it out. Okay. More likely, what I think is going to happen is we're going to see it get back up to 100, test 100, and I think it's going to crash back down a little bit. And I think we'll see some consolidation for a while. And then I think we're going to see it go shooting up probably close to 150. If we do get to a crash down to the 40s, 50s, or 60s, I think it's a massive buying opportunity. Okay, that's like where I'm going to figure out what I can sell in my house just to buy more silver. Okay, so I don't know if they're watching right now, but I was just at a watch store here, jewelry store, looking at a really cool watch, and I was asking them how much it was, and I said I need to wait because I don't want to buy a new watch until gold and silver goes up a little bit more. But you guys will have opportunities as gold and silver goes higher to be able to pick up things that maybe you haven't afforded in the past. You'll be able to do that. And I believe there'll be a time period where your gold and silver will be worth quite a bit more than the US dollar. And so you'll be able to have more purchasing power. Over time, inflation will start to kick in again. It'll erode a little bit of that as well. All right, I'm going to try to see the comments you guys have in here real quick. So we got from Brian, thank you for the 5 memberships. And he may have done that. Oh, we've got a native silver stacker too. So thank you guys for those. If you just received one of those new super chats, sorry, it's been a day. One of the new memberships, email me, stackingsurfer@gmail.com, and give me your YouTube handle so I can see that you're a member. And you can give me your address if you want. I can send you out a sticker. And you can also, give me your mailing address kind of thing. But I'll add you to the live stream we're going to do on Friday. So instead of a call this week, we're going to do a live stream, and I'll explain a little bit more on the live stream how we're going to do some changes in the membership. I don't want to get too detailed on that, but you can always join by hitting down below where it says join. If you guys haven't done so already, please hit subscribe, the bell icon, and the thumbs up. That gets this out to more people. All right, so it looks like we've got Rob already asking some good questions here. How do we know if we got a membership? It would highlight your name, and if you look down below, Rob, it'll tell you whether if it gives you the option to join, you do not have a membership, is a better way to put it. If you go in, and you'd have to look and see, maybe the membership tab might show it too. Okay, so who's buying silver? I'm buying silver. I'm not buying a ton of silver yet because I'm tight on funds at the moment. But I have been buying silver. I did buy some silver miners on Friday. I did add to my position there, and I bought also a call option, kind of testing the waters a little bit with some of the options. And so far, I'm up on all of those purchases. That was when silver was closer to about $75, $76. And you could buy that there. If you went to go buy a silver eagle, you were still paying about $100, maybe $95. So, as I look at it, I can't give you guys financial advice. I can't tell you what to do, but I will say this. I think right now is a great time to be buying. All the way up to $100, it's on sale. Okay, it's going much higher. Now, It is possible that we have a steeper crash here as well. So do not rule that out. We have March coming up as well. That's when a lot of deliveries are, or I should say, a lot of deliveries can happen at the COMEX. I don't know if people are going to pull the trigger and stand for delivery. Um, I don't know if the banks are going to be freaked out about that and if they're going to try to crash it right before those delivery times to try to, encourage people not to take them for delivery. Whatever the banks do this year will backfire in their faces because the public is much more aware of it now. And so are the wealthy. And that's really kind of the game that's being played right now is we've got country against country. We've got, China trying to suck up as much silver as they can. The U.S. seems to not even care about it at this moment, which is crazy. And we have strategic reserves being set up in multiple countries, as well as, basically India starting to monetize it again. So with all of those differences and changes that are going on there, I think we're going to have a wild ride. All right, I want to see what questions you guys have for me. Put them in bold if you can. Not bold, caps if you can. And I'll do my best. If it's something you're dying to see, the easiest way is a super chat blows up on my screen. So it's pretty easy to not miss that. Let's see. Okay, let me just see what questions you guys have in here real quick. All right, you guys be careful on what you're posting on the messages here because some of those are going to get taken out if you're saying dumb things. Okay, I'll talk about midterm elections for a second here. Midterm elections are extremely important because if the midterm elections go to the Democrats, the president won't be able to do a whole lot. Now, if you're a Democrat and you want that to happen and you want to stop the president, okay. But I'll tell you a couple things. So far, he is the only president we've had for a very long time, okay, decades, that seems to be trying to fix things and trying to change things from the way it has been, which hasn't been working, okay? We can't print this much money. We can't have this much debt and survive. We have to start to do different things. Now, the way he's going about doing it, I do not agree with all those things, all the tactics and the ways he does it, okay? The way he rolled out the tariffs was kind of a complete mess. Okay, there's other words I want to say with that, but I'm just going to call it a mess. Very, very messy. There were better ways to do that. Now, he tends to be a good negotiator, and he tends to get what he wants out of things. If the midterms go to the other party, it's going to be very hard for him to get a lot of stuff passed. Okay. In addition to that, I think the party will just be too focused on trying to get him out. We won't get anything done. More importantly than just midterm elections, though, will we get to the point where we can feel comfortable about the elections being fair and honest? There was a poll from CNN that I saw real on today that said, I think it was 89% of Americans, so it was like 95% Republican and like 71% Democrat, believe that we should show a photo ID, a license, when we go to vote. And I would agree with that. I think we need to get rid of the mail-in ballots. If you can't make it to the polling place to vote, you don't get a vote. And then I think it needs to be where you show your ID and it has to be confirmed you're a U.S. citizen or you don't get no vote. And if we do that, I think California is a red state or at least a very purple state. There were over 10 million people that voted for President Trump here. Now, I'm someone that's kind of outspoken against him because I'm a constitutionalist and he doesn't follow the Constitution as much as I would like him to. But I think he's the best thing we've got, the best thing that's happened in a long time. And I like the idea of going back to tariffs and the Fed, get rid of income tax. I want a consumption tax, not a flat tax. That's still stupid. I want a consumption tax on when I spend things. If I can let my money grow and continue to increase, and they slap on an extra $5,000 or $10,000 tax on my vehicle, if I decide to go buy a luxury one, I'm okay with that because all I have to do is leave my money in my assets just a little bit longer to marinate, and then I can go and buy it. Otherwise, they just continue to strip your wealth away. I hate that. All right, that's all I'm going to say on that, Joseph. Probably made some friends and some enemies. Okay, so miners real quick. I did buy more Hecla. I really like Hecla. I did buy some First Majestic silver miner, and I also bought some. What else did I buy? I don't know. I bought another one. I bought a third one in there. What I'm trying to do this week, just so you guys know, number one, I need to get the gauze out. Okay, it's been like 2 months. We're going to be pulling back on how much gauze we're doing. I just can't. It's killing me. I was up for 4 hours until about 2 this morning trying to get through the emails. There's so much junk email. The moment I give you guys my email, somehow all these dumb marketing companies get it, and all these places that are trying to scam me get in there. Um, I still haven't gotten through everybody's email. Once I do, I put you guys into a spreadsheet. That way I don't lose it. And from there, I've got to handwrite all the letters out and send the stuff. So it's going to take a little bit of time. Once I'm kind of finished with that, I got to get back to doing some of my own finances a little bit here, get ready for tax season. But one of those things is looking at the mining stocks and what do I want to do? I'm going to be looking into more of the junior miners as well as the exploration companies. I think we've got a period of time here before we get to $100 on silver to buy those. And I'm going to be looking at Don Duret's information to better understand some of those picks. I do have him coming back in March, so look forward for him. I'm talking to David Morgan right now, so hopefully we'll get something set up soon with him. Andy Scheckman's next Tuesday, and then I'll be on Andy's show on Wednesday. I don't know if they put it out the same day or the day after. And then we should be getting Lynette Zhang back, and Kevin and King Kong. We should be coming back on too. We'll get a lot of these guys on we've had. It's just I need to get an assistant so I can get someone to help me schedule all this stuff. That's part of my issue. Will I have a surfboard by my name? Yes. If you have a surfboard by your name, you remember. Okay, that's true. Okay, I'm going to come down here real quick. Okay, stop locks. I think you mean to stop. Yeah, a stop lock. Stop loss is what I don't think they're called locks. I think they're loss. But maybe you call them that. One thing you guys got to be very careful of if you're trading mining stocks, okay, or you're trading anything in the stock market in general. What happens is you might buy it at $80, and if it goes down to 60, you're freaked out. It could go lower. You want to put a stop loss there so that you don't lose too much money. And then you might be hoping that it gets up to, say, 110, and that's where you want to sell. When you're a trader and you're making trades, you should be making trades based off a percentage return or IRR number you're going off of. And that's how you set your buys and your sells, okay? And you put your stop losses in. People are now using, or corporations are now using, very sophisticated AI bots that go into the market and do trading for them. And what's happening is these bots are able to sniff out all of these stop losses very quickly. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. And it basically takes all the stop losses out. Here's why this is dangerous. Okay, first off, if you're doing a bunch of money, you kind of have to do a stop loss unless you're going to short the stock at the same time or short another area of the sector, because you are taking on too much risk. Okay, I'm going to put that out. The problem with stop losses, though, is if you set them too high. You buy at 80 and you set it at 70 or 60, which is pretty high. These bots are going in and sniffing this stuff out, and they're crashing it down to those points, and then they buy back up. And so what ends up happening is you buy at 80, it goes up to 100, but it didn't hit your 110, for example. These bots hit with a crash. They go all the way down to 60. They take you out, and then they buy all the way up until it gets to 110. And before you even know it and have notifications on your phone, you've sold for a loss, and now the stock is trading for a much higher price. That sucks, and it should be fraud. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. Am I leaning towards silver or gold more right now? Okay, so I like to look at the ratios. The way that I put it is I started off heavy with gold. I'm a gold stacker. I'm a gold bug, and I started out at silver to it. Okay. So my ratio is about 57 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. It was down to probably about 45. So I've been buying silver. Okay. Now, I do buy gold when I find a gold buffalo for a good price, like at Costco when I bought them about 2 weeks ago for, 2% below spot. Once you take in their 4% discount or cash back. Now I have to wait until February next year, and maybe it'll be inflated away, so it won't be worth much. I don't know. But that's the time I buy gold right now, or I'm kind of a sucker for these Liberty coins that come out of the U.S. Mint. I am going to be putting those up for sale here pretty soon on eBay. I've got the flowing hair, which is actually that's a coin. That's not a metal. And then I have the sunflower deal. So I get those graded from tangible investments, and it increases their value. If you can get them fast enough, you can make some money doing that. I don't think it's worth the time. It's more of a dumb addiction thing of having fun buying the coins, getting them graded, see what I get for my grade. But right now, I'm buying more silver still. I will continue buying more silver until we get to about probably a 40 ratio. And at that point, then I'm probably done buying silver. But I only need a little bit more silver to hit my goal of total amount of silver that I need, and I'm done. Like, I don't need any more silver. I don't need any more gold. I'm done buying until I have extra money. I've hit my goals. I've hit everything I need to do. And so now it's just, if I have extra money, where else would I put it besides gold and silver? Maybe in the miners. But that's kind of where I'm at. Hopefully you guys can get to a point like that pretty soon too. My outfit says bullish silver. I don't know what the crap that means. Yeah, I don't know who could ever reject America First policy, guys. Okay, so mining stocks. I don't trade because I don't have time to. Okay, let me explain. I think anybody can be good at the stock market, and you can beat just about any analyst out there if you spend enough time on it and you care enough. It's your money. They don't give a crap. It's not your money. They get paid a percentage of trades, or they get paid a percentage of what's being managed. They don't really get paid for every time you make money, and they don't lose money when you lose money. Okay, that's what I'd like to see from a broker. And if I can find that, then we'll blow them up all over here and tell you guys to go to them. I fired every one of my financial advisors I've had because they suck and they don't make me any money. They lose me money. When I took over my stuff on my own, I was able to double it in 3 months in 2021 from July until, I don't know, what is that? July, August, September. And then the market started kind of falling out. And I moved from high tech stocks into dividend paying stocks. I handed it over to a broker because my wife said, you're spending every day, all day long, while you're trying to do your day job, checking the ticker symbols, right? And going in and out. And it was kind of driving me crazy. So yes, I could double my money pretty fast. And the market allowed me to do that as well. I'm not just a genius. I was following principles and putting it in place. The problem is it takes a lot of time, and it's nerve wracking. So I gave it to a place. And what did they do? They sold all my dividend stocks, put it back in high tech stocks, lost me 20% in 1 week. I was ticked. So I said, put it in cash and wait. Let's wait and see what happens with the market. They put it back into Tesla, into Apple, and everything else, and it lost another 15%. So I just yanked it all out. I went and bought physical gold and silver, and I paid massive fines because it was my retirement account. But sometimes don't do things when you're angry. But I did do that. I don't recommend you guys do that. That's not financial advice. It wasn't a lot of money, by the way. It wasn't like my whole retirement. It was just a chunk of retirement stuff. So for me right now, I go long term. I'm holding my mining stocks for at least a year so I can get long-term capital gains on them. And then I'll start looking to see whether I want to sell out of some of them or move into other things. Now, I don't plan on holding them long-term. Mining stocks kind of are not the greatest thing to hold long-term. They have some good periods of time. And the one thing I will caveat with it is, do not assume that you can buy mining stocks today, make a ton of money, and buy silver and gold physically down the road. Don't assume the metals will be available. Okay, so if you do not have a firm foundation of precious metals in the physical that you believe you need to have to support your family financially as well as for SHTF, then do not buy mining stocks. Go buy physical. Okay, it's not worth it. We could have a situation where there's a financial collapse. You have your mining stocks. Okay, maybe you get out right at the tail end of it. Okay, so you don't take a massive hit. We go into a financial collapse. Your money's still sitting with the broker, or maybe there's just not a lot of silver or gold to be had. You're waiting for a deal. All of a sudden, the banking system collapses and they introduce the stable coins. And now you're stuck with something that maybe they won't allow to buy gold and silver. Or everybody rushed in to go buy physical gold and silver. It's just not available. So I only use the money into mining stocks that I can lose, or at least lose half of it, so to speak. If I lost it all, I would not be very happy. I'll probably be using my electric bike a lot more because I don't have a car right now. Everybody in my family has a car but me. And I'm using my mining stocks to make some more money so I can go buy a car. Okay. I like to pay cash for stuff. I try not to finance it for personal stuff. For business, use other people's money. Um, okay, coin shows. Coin shows, I think, are probably the best place to buy right now. You've got a lot of dealers that just need to move inventory, so I think it's a great place to go. The online bullion dealers are not lowering their price much. Okay, I've looked at them all; they're not doing it, and they're totally, completely slammed. I don't think I've gotten an email yet from Miles Franklin on their price sheet yet today. I could be wrong; maybe it's down in my email, but they just don't have time to get back to anybody right now. It's pretty crazy. Um, so coin shows is great. Local coin shops is great right now too. See if you can help them out. You do not want your local coin shop going out of business. If your local coin shop goes out of business, where are you going to sell? Where are you going to buy? If things get kind of dicey and traveling across states maybe isn't as safe. And I'm not alluding to anything any more than just COVID, guys. You know, we had this whole thing that went on and, you know, it was harder to move around and stuff. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? You want your local guy there, okay, or gal. All right, let's see. I don't want to talk anymore of the politics stuff, but and by the way, guys, um, I left the Republican Party the moment that they did the Patriot Act. I'm not playing that game, and they're not getting my money ever again until they appeal the Patriot Act. I'm not giving them my money, so I've gone libertarian. I'll just put that out there. I'm a constitutional conservative, and I believe going back to the basics, and I want to see Republicans start following the law again. Democrats, I can't expect them to do it. They just don't do it. So I really don't like either of the political parties. Um, but I do vote based on morals and I vote based on track record. And so most of the time it tends to be Republican because the libertarians never put anybody worth a vote forward. But with that said, I don't donate to the Republican Party as a party anymore. Um, Not until they change their policies and get to stuff that's more patriotic. All right, let's see here. Okay, I'm way behind, so let me go way down here. The $50 haircut. I was supposed to get a $50 haircut today. No, I'm just kidding. Thinking his haircuts aren't $50. I'm gonna get a haircut. My wife said my hair is growing out weird and I need to get it trimmed a little bit. And maybe I'll get a barber shop to help me shape my beard a little bit here. We're still growing it in. I know OC Stackers give me trouble for being a youngster and having some spots still, but I've never tried growing my beard out before, so it needs a little bit of little pep here. So my flowing hair is not the original flowing hair, but I did get the newest one, gold and silver. They both came back at PF 70. And I did pull a privy, guys. I did. So sometimes those things are worth it. $105 turned into $6,800. That's not bad. I'll take that all day long. I just happened to share it with a few friends. So, but I wouldn't have done it if we didn't do the competition. Um, how many different miners do I have? I've kind of consolidated a little bit. I like to buy in tranches 100 shares in my miners. And the reason to do that is because I may want to do covered calls with them. I'm a little nervous to do it because I think they're going way higher. And I know the moment I do covered calls, I'm going to get taken out. I'm going to be mad. And they're not really paying that well compared to some of the tech stocks and what they were doing. But I like to do it in 100 share increments is what I like to do. So, it's not always perfect, but I like to get several hundred in each place. Now, it gets a little bit heavier when you're in Newmont. That's expensive stuff, okay? So you got to be careful with that. I don't buy silver shot. I don't want it. I have no use for it. I don't have a furnace or oh man, I'm forgetting the other term. Crucible. Okay, I don't have that. Now, if I had those, silver shot, if you can buy that stuff cheap, that's great. However, how much more fun would it be to melt something cool than silver shot? So if you can buy anything out there, like a whole bunch of really cool collectible coins. Okay, I'm not talking old stuff, newer stuff like Spider-Man coins and all that stuff. If I could find that for the same price as Silver Shot, then I would probably buy a Crucible because that would make a killer video to dump all these really cool coins in there and melt them for YouTube. And then I would make you guys silver surfboards. Maybe I'll create some silver surfboard keychains for you guys. So you always have a little bit of silver with you in an emergency. It's an idea I've had it for a while. I just can't find anybody to pour me a surfboard. But I think I've complained enough about that. We may have someone pretty soon. Okay, when would I retire? My friends were asking me when I could retire. Um, you guys, retirement's a hard question to answer because it's on different levels. Okay, I know people that retire from their day job when there's enough money from Social Security um, that's going to start in a couple of years. Plus, they've saved up a little bit of money, and I see people do that. But one of the problems you run into with retirement is this. I'm ADHD. I'm never going to retire. Okay. I will probably be making videos when I'm 95 years old, 120. I'm going to be 120. You guys going to be 120? That's what I'm planning for. Okay. So if I retire right now at 50 almost later this year, I still, I'm not even over the hill yet. I got to wait another 10 years to get to over the hill if I'm planning on being 120. Now I got to get to the gym more. I got to lose a little bit of surfer gut here. But as far as retirement goes, what I like to have a pretty big buffer in it. Okay. So like, for example, if I were to go buy a Ferrari, okay, this is a crazy example. I wouldn't do that if I was a 2 or 3 millionaire. Okay. To go buy a Ferrari, I'd have to probably be a 30 millionaire to even think that that was worth spending that kind of money on something. Okay. Um, to me, it would just be frivolous to do it. Now, maybe my mind will change if I get somewhere close to that. But, where do you retire at? I think you got to have at least $5 million to retire. Okay. Now, that might freak a bunch of you guys out because you're probably retired and you might not have 5 million bucks. Where I live, you pretty much need $5 million to even consider retiring. That's where you got to get to. It's super expensive to live here. I mean, my gas bill in the summer, my electric bill in the summer is $1,000. In the wintertime, it's $350. My gas bill right now is $450 a month. I don't even run the air conditioning. I don't run the heater higher than 70 degrees in the wintertime. So will I hit 5 million? I don't know. So I also don't know like how this whole retirement thing is going to work out in California. I probably will have to move before I do it. But in case I can stay here or we do decide to stay here, that's kind of the number you got to get to. And it's a tough number. That's why you see a lot of people leaving California going somewhere else. A lot of other states, you can probably retire on $1 million, $2 million and be fine. Here you got to have quite a bit more. I mean, we're still $5 gasoline a gallon. So how many ounces to retire? You got to have a lot of ounces to retire here. Probably the bigger question for me to answer on that is, here's how I look at everything. You make your money from your job and you make your money from adding to society. Okay. So I've got my day job. I've got this YouTube channel. That's where I make my money. Where I grow my money is in my investments. It's my gold and silver. It's my stocks. It's my real estate. That's where I grow my money. I don't try to get rich off of my money growing. Okay. I get rich off of building businesses. Okay, it worked this time. Okay. I hope it doesn't call again. It keeps throwing up.